Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So, can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
no, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. What you just watched in that short clip is honestly unbelievable, but unfortunately, it's where we're at right now. Senator Josh Hawley is standing up in a Senate hearing, asking a simple, foundational question to a medical expert called to testify under oath. Can men get pregnant? And instead of getting a plain, common-sense answer based on basic biology, we get minutes of dodging, political jargon, and deflection. It's mind-boggling to see a trained Dr. refuse to state what every single human being knew, without question just 5 minutes ago. Senator Hawley was 100% right to press her on this, because if our medical experts can't be honest about basic science, how can we trust them on anything else? We are going to break down the full clip in just a second. But before we dive into the main reaction, if you believe common sense and biological realities still matter in America, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below letting me know your thoughts. Let's get into the full video.
Senator Hawley, I think it's science-based, by the way, that men can't have babies, but that's going to be something. Senator Hawley, don't worry about it. Senator Hawley, that was Senator Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
There are many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
no, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating male and female with...
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological...
You're not going to answer my question.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Senator also Brooks.
All right, folks. Now that we watched the whole thing, let's talk about what actually happened here, because this exchange is exceptionally clarifying and, frankly, deeply concerning. First off, huge credit to Josh Hawley. He handled this perfectly. He didn't lose his temper. He didn't scream. He just kept bringing the witness back to her own standard. Earlier in her testimony, Dr. Verma claimed that science and evidence, not politics, should drive medicine and law. Great. Every conservative, every Republican, and honestly, every rational American agrees with that statement. So Hawley did what any sharp legislator should do. He put that claim to the test. He asked a simple, binary question grounded in standard biology. Can biological men get pregnant? And what did we get in response? I take care of people with different identities. Questions like this are a political tool. I don't think polarized language served that goal. Notice how she tried to pivot away every single time? Hawley wasn't asking about social identity, gender presentation, or political sensitivity. He specifically asked about biological reality. Why does this matter so much? Why is Hawley digging in on this? Because, as Hawley pointed out so powerfully toward the end of the clip, erasing the basic biological distinctions between men and women isn't just absurd. It's dangerous. It weakens protections for women. When you erase the distinct biological definition of woman, you erase the legal and constitutional foundations that protect women in sports, private spaces, and healthcare. It destroys public trust. When standard medical professionals refuse to state basic biological truths because they're afraid of offending a political movement, the public completely loses trust in the medical establishment. It's hypocritical. The left constantly preaches, follow the science and listen to the experts. But the second science contradicts political ideology, suddenly basic biology becomes polarizing language. When a doctor says, yes or no questions are a political tool, Hawley nailed it with his response. No, yes or no questions are about the truth. Truth shouldn't be partisan. Biological facts aren't polarizing. They are reality. Senator Hawley gave a masterclass here in standing up for common sense, exposing ideological bias in real time, and defending actual science over political narratives. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Did Hawley hit the nail on the head, or what? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Stay grounded, stand for the truth, and I'll catch you in the next video.